SummerSlam 2024 is shaping up to be one of the best SummerSlams in recent memory, which helps with the narrative that this is the event of the summer. The temperatures are rising in each storyline as much as the weather outdoors, and I'll be breaking down each match, what I think about the storyline leading into SummerSlam, and who I believe will walk out with the win on Saturday. Hi, my name is Sean, and I talk wrestling. Welcome to Sean Talks Wrestling. There are 7 matches lined up for this year's SummerSlam, including 6 title matches. Sadly, none of the tag titles are up for grabs this Saturday, which includes the Raw and SmackDown tag titles, as well as the women's tag titles, though Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano will defend their gold on Friday in a special SmackDown the night before SummerSlam. But let's focus on what matters most, and that's the event of the summer on Saturday. Kicking things off is the Sami Zayn vs. Bron Breakker one-on-one match for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami is your champion heading into SummerSlam, while Bron Breakker is the eager, up-and-coming talent looking to cement his place on Raw with a big win and his first singles championship. Since Gunther's win of the championship, the WWE has done a wonderful job billing this title as something prestigious to aim for. While it is considered Raw's mid-card title, second to the World Heavyweight Championship, it's been successfully revitalized to a championship with meaning and value. That hasn't changed with Sami holding the title either, nor has it negatively affected the booking of who is challenging him, whether it's Chad Gable, Ilya Dragunov, or his opponent at SummerSlam, Bron Breakker. The two have locked horns multiple times throughout the last 2 months, with Sami taking the brunt of the damage, thanks to Bron's deadly spears. But like his character always suggests, Sami always gets back up and lives to fight another day. From a storytelling standpoint, I really dig the idea of the cocky new guy taking a physically inferior opponent less seriously and having it bite him in the rear end, despite Sami routinely telling him to bring his A-game. And it helps to paint the picture of a hungrier, meaner Bron Breakker walking into SummerSlam with a chip on his shoulder. While Sami is my hometown guy from Montreal, I really get the feeling we're about to witness Bron Breakker win his first championship. He's proved since his call-up that he is a serious contender and a threat to anyone that gets in his way, and that Intercontinental Championship will definitely look great on his enormous shoulder. I'm predicting Bron Breakker to defeat Sami, and a big salute to Mr. Zayn for his consistent flow of wonderful matches, which are sure to continue with or without a championship. Next up, let's talk about the other mid-card championship over on the blue brand, SmackDown's United States Championship. The champ Logan Paul will be entering his hometown of Cleveland to defend against one of the biggest fan favorites of the last 2 years, LA Knight. As you all know, Logan Paul has been the US champion since he won the title at Crown Jewel back in November 2023 after defeating Rey Mysterio. Since then, Logan's defended the title successfully on 2 different occasions, once against Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble, and the second time at WrestleMania 40 in a triple threat match against Randy Orton, and once again Kevin Owens. Since then, the shine of the US Championship has kind of faded into the background and it hasn't seen much airtime, thanks in part to Logan's restrictive schedule. He did compete against Cody Rhodes at King and Queen of the Ring in May, but the United States Championship wasn't on the line, and thankfully so since he lost the match. LA Knight, on the other hand, has been kind of caught in limbo since completing his feud with Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. While it was pretty clear he wasn't going to be the one to end Roman's streak, many wondered where he'd go from there, and unfortunately, the only way was down. I think where he is currently is the right place for him to be, and a United States title run could be the shot of energy he needs for his WWE run to begin its upward trajectory. It was fun to see Logan Paul troll the audience and hold the US Championship hostage for a bit, while also bringing mainstream media attention to the product, but it's time to move on. Give me LA Knight to defeat Logan Paul and capture his first single title in the WWE. Moving on to the one and only non-title match of the evening, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk go one-on-one, finally, with Seth Rollins serving as the referee of the match. This is by far the best feud going in the WWE at the moment, which is crazy to think considering these two haven't even had a match until now, and CM Punk has been injured since the Royal Rumble. The two have been absolutely on fire on the microphone whenever they get the chance to talk. The back and forth between the two has been non-stop fun, and there's a lot more on the line than just bickering and social media shenanigans. Punk has cost Drew the World Heavyweight Championship on a number of occasions, from being the cause for Damien to cash in at WrestleMania 40 and end McIntyre's run as champion in a matter of minutes, costing him again in Drew's hometown of Scotland, and even showing up at the Money in the Bank to ruin Drew's cash-in attempt and cost him both the championship and his briefcase. All of the hatred, exchanges of scathing words, and physical altercations, and I haven't even touched on the fact that Seth Rollins is also involved as a special referee. While I will say it felt a bit forced to interject Seth into the picture, the explanation was pretty clear, with the referee crew not wanting anything to do with the violent Drew McIntyre and the unpredictable CM Punk. It makes sense, and it's sure to throw in the audience for a loop with how Seth calls the match. I'm picturing a situation similar to Bret Hart and The Undertaker at SummerSlam 1997, when Shawn Michaels was the special referee and inadvertently cost The Undertaker the match after Bret spat in the Heartbreak Kid's face, resulting in Shawn swinging at Bret with a chair, who ducked and ended up clocking The Undertaker with a chair shot to the head. If things play out the same or close to this, I see Seth costing Punk the match and counting 3 for a Drew McIntyre pin, which should give us some more quality content between the 3 wrestlers involved. I predict Drew to win. He's in desperate need of victory at some point or another. Moving on now to the women's title pictures, let's start off with Bayley defending the WWE Women's Championship against the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. This is unfortunately the match with the least amount of build-up and excitement, to no fault of Bayley or Nia Jax, who have both put in solid efforts to build up anticipation for this match. Instead, this is more of a criticism to SmackDown's overall booking in the last several weeks, and how everything feels like it's tailor-made to have fans waiting for that final segment, which typically involves the bloodline to some extent. Criticisms aside, Nia Jax's place as the challenger for Bayley's title had been a decision made following Nia Jax's victory at the King and Queen of the Ring, and the WWE have had about 2 months to properly build this match, which the jury is currently out on whether they did an acceptable job. Bayley has been the women's champion since WrestleMania 40, after defeating Io Sky, but has since been caught up in some roller coaster booking, featuring some pretty big highs and some dreadful lows. I think this match has the potential to be a good showing for both women, especially with Nia Jax in the role of the more menacing and bigger opponent that can overpower her rival, and Bayley playing the underdog that everyone wants to see overcome the odds and come out triumphant. All this to say that Tiffany Stratton, who has aligned herself with Nia Jax in recent weeks, has her Money in the Bank briefcase and could be looking to steal a win of her own. I don't believe SummerSlam is the time for Bayley to lose her championship, and I think there's still more story to be told with Bayley and Nia Jax, and quite frankly Tiffany Stratton as well, with teasing a cash-in and conflicting with Nia Jax's wishes. I'm taking Bayley to successfully defend her women's championship, and I'm crossing my fingers we get some better booking post-SummerSlam, because these two deserve as much. Switching gears to the Raw side, Liv Morgan defends her Women's World Heavyweight Championship against Rhea Ripley, who returns to the ring for the first time since coming back from a shoulder injury which knocked her out of action for 3 months. While Rhea was away, Monday Nights didn't shy away from continuing to build a storyline between these two rivals by having Liv continuously parade around with the Women's World Heavyweight Championship while tormenting the remaining members of the Judgment Day, mainly Dominic Mysterio. Whether it was buying Rhea's Latino Heat chicken nuggies, a PS5, or constantly placing him in compromising positions, Liv was living up to her promise to take everything away from Rhea. That was until Rhea returned a few weeks ago and turned the storyline on its head, reclaiming Dirty Dom and the Judgment Day while firing off a warning shot that she was coming for Liv and her World Heavyweight Championship. While the storyline has been one of the most talked about angles in the last 2 months, and it certainly shows in social media numbers and video views, I do have one minor critique on the matter, which is that I felt, at least to me, that the World Heavyweight Championship has taken a backseat to the claiming of Dominic Mysterio. I will say the interactions between Liv and Dom in the weeks leading up to Rhea's return have been comedy gold, and Rhea storming the ring to chase Liv off and remind Dominic that Mommy's home was a great moment to end an episode of Raw. I'd like to see more focus put on Rhea's drive to take back what she never lost, which is the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. With that said, I don't think SummerSlam is the place she'll do it, and I'll give 2 reasons why. First, I think this match has the potential to run a twist end where someone comes out to assist Liv and turn their back on the Judgment Day, which could be Finn Balor or JD McDonough, maybe both, who, may I remind you, won the Raw Tag Team titles thanks to an assist from Liv. The other reason being, if Rhea wins at SummerSlam, the feud is essentially over and done with, which feels like a waste of the last 3 months building this match up in the first place. I think Rhea and Liv are better than a one-and-done storyline, and could tear it up over the remainder of the summer and into the fall, especially if we get a clash between the departing members of the Judgment Day, teaming up with Liv to take on Rhea, Dominic Mysterio, and maybe even Damien Priest. We'll see where that lands, but for now I'm going with Liv to retain and hopefully extend this program for a much longer extent. Before I move on, I'd like to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this video and spend some of your day with me. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you back in the future. If by now I've earned your interest, please don't hesitate to click the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification to be alerted to when my next videos go live. Anything you do greatly helps this channel grow and pushes future content into the algorithm, and I'm hoping to grow this audience and join the platform of respected content creators who put out quality wrestling content every week. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get back to the predictions. Now on to the main titles of each brand. I'm going to begin with the Raw title picture featuring Damien Priest defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against the King of the Ring, Gunther. Like Nia Jax, Gunther's spot on the SummerSlam card as the challenger for Priest's World Heavyweight Championship was determined at King and Queen of the Ring when Gunther defeated Randy Orton in the King of the Ring final. Since then, we haven't seen much of Gunther in the ring outside of a few well-cut promos and a match against Finn Balor just this week. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think this was the right way to go after the WWE bridged the gap between his loss of the Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn at WrestleMania to his victory at King and Queen of the Ring and eventual championship match at this year's SummerSlam. Look, we know how good Gunther is in the ring, and we quickly learned how good of a speaker he is on the microphone. On the opposite side, we're witnessing the blossoming of Damien Priest from the heel leader of the Judgment Day to a likable babyface champion that fans can get behind, thanks to his background and rags to riches style storytelling. From how the audience has engaged with Damien's promos and the story he and Gunther are telling, it really does feel like he is in his comfort zone and he's beginning to shine in this new role. I'm not sure if this leads to a full transition from heel to face or if they plan to play it more in between, but so far I've liked this new side of Damien Priest, and both he and Gunther have been killing it each week. With that said, I think the WWE is ready to pull the trigger on elevating Gunther to the next level and having him represent the Raw brand as the World Heavyweight Champion, and SummerSlam is the perfect time to do so. Does feel weird in a sense to have the heel winning after cutting the style of promos that he has in the last few weeks, flexing his class of lifestyle and bragging about having everything in life while referring to Damien Priest as street trash, but the WWE hasn't shied away from this kind of booking before. I believe Gunther will win and become your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and a solid round of applause for Damien Priest for proving that the tag of Transitional Champion was pure garbage. And now on to the main event of the evening and what I believe to be one of the most anticipated moments in WWE since CM Punk's return at Survivor Series in 2023. I'm not going to get ahead of myself because before I even jump into that speculation, there's a whole main event match to talk about. Cody Rhodes will defend the WWE Universal Championship against Solo Sikoa, the leader of the new Bloodline, the Bloodline 2.0, or whatever else you want to call it. Look, I think we all know where this one is going, and it's really no surprise to anyone when I say Cody Rhodes is likely walking out of SummerSlam, still the Universal Champion. Since the departure of Roman Reigns, the new Bloodline has felt kind of stagnant at best, with Solo leading the charge of a new Bloodline featuring Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and their newest addition, Jacob Fatu. I will say, since Fatu made his debut, anything Bloodline related has definitely been more interesting to watch, and it's all thanks to him. In the midst of his madness and havoc, Solo Sikoa is still the new Bloodline's tribal chief, though I wonder how much longer that will be the case. Cody has been in a few different scenarios where he's defended the Universal title. Whether it was against Logan Paul or AJ Styles, Cody has managed to put on banger matches after banger matches and represents the company very nicely in his fitted suits and championship title around his shoulder. I don't believe the WWE is near ready to take that title off of him, nor do I believe it makes any sense whatsoever to have Solo Sikoa as your new Universal Champion, especially so soon after he turned his career around from that dreadful losing streak he was on pre-WrestleMania 40. I'm taking Cody Rhodes to defend the Universal Champion. I don't think that's any surprise, it's not really close, and you shouldn't doubt that decision either. Now I think what people are really looking forward to is what transpires following the final bell. It's pretty obvious now that people are expecting to hear head of the table and see Roman Reigns casually walk out to one of the biggest returns of 2024. And what makes this so beautiful is that Roman Reigns went from the company's top heel that everyone was ecstatic to see be defeated for the Universal title after an insane run, only to return after a 4-month absence as one of the company's top babyfaces. I mean, fans in several cities were chanting "We want Roman" every time Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline, or Paul Heyman were in the ring. And he wasn't even around for that. It's just unbelievable stuff, and as a wrestling fan, you love to see this kind of storytelling. I'm absolutely stoked to see the return of Roman Reigns, which isn't a guarantee yet, by the way, but I think we're all thinking it. Beyond that, maybe we see Paul Heyman come out with Roman, maybe we see the beginning of an Avengers Assemble situation, which could set up a Bloodline versus Bloodline showdown at Bad Blood in October, after a few months of consistent booking. Only time will tell, but one thing I am most certain of is that it is damn fun to be a fan of the WWE product at the moment, not only with a strong SummerSlam card nearing us, but what could follow for the rest of the year. Well, those are my predictions for this year's SummerSlam. How do you think I did? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or if I'm way off base, and be sure to list your own predictions as well. Also, be sure to let me know who you think got snubbed out of a match at this year's SummerSlam. Personally, I'm surprised we won't be seeing Jey Uso in action, and I'm deeply bummed that the Wyatt Six aren't making their in-ring debut on a grander stage like this either. Alright, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Remember to be kind, take care of yourself, and stay safe.